Orbit then will be our blue team attacking first, which, as we mentioned, picking and then having attack is a really tough spot to be in. Mythic will begin on defense. Now, there are your rosters. Orbit running Kix, Young, Kush, Snake, and K9. And the defensive side of Team Mythic, Canadian, Gingy, Necrox, Mystical, and Damie to finish out their 5. Snake, not sure what he wants to go with right now. He's got a couple of options. Depending on the bomb site choice, the Glaz could be useful. And, well, they can't see it right now. The bomb site choice is the meeting room and executive office, where we've seen Glaz used to varying levels of success so far already. But he will finally switch over and decide on the IQ to end things out. And we have Young once more on that shield play. He's done so much work with it in previous weeks. Can he do the same thing here? But as I mentioned before, the important thing to note, this is not the first time Orbit have picked plane. Now, to my ill-informed brain, that would suggest that they've been training this hard for a long while now. And as you mentioned, the team that gets a solid plane attack locked in
easily
will lock themselves an easy win. Have they finally got themselves that solid strategy? Because as we saw, they are by no means locked in for second place. This is an important spot. Sorry, by no means are Orbit locked in for first place.
Right.
This is an important game for them all the same. So, Mythic defense then set up here in the cockpit of the plane. Upstairs goes Canadian to reinforce the trapdoor. Set up a frost trap right next to it. No crazy out window peeks from Mythic. A couple of people heading upstairs. Canadian still putting some traps down, and Necrox looking to roam as much as you can really call it roaming here on plane.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Here comes the attack. No one up the main entrance yet. Snake right at the bottom of it, has a drone waiting at the top. Now he decides that it's safe, but Kix is one of our closest attackers to the bomb sites, and he is still waiting tried and true as well. Snake doing the same thing, but Young now finally leading the push up the ramp. Really interested to see how they make this work. Where the hell did those shots come from? Was that underneath? It may have been underneath the gap
looked
here.
like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They hit the head too. That's quite an angle. Nice shot, but still, it's a shield, so it doesn't matter. Shots come back through to open up the doorway there from Snake. He is down and hidden from the angle there. That Damie hiding. Tush stands up to try and blow open the wall and will take a lot of damage for his trouble. Has forced Damie to move back a little way though. Grenade comes in, sits right next to the shield. The tags are going out from Snake, and they will keep landing to put him down. They can't finish him off. There's no dock, and ultimately there will be all she wrote. Snake grabbing that kill, so now they can get into that meeting room if they're lucky. Mystical now holding the next corner. Will now begin to smoke the doorway. Smoke, of course, on this location even more powerful because of that daylight advantage you gain.
Right.
But
getting him to use one early, that's good.
Yeah, that's nice. Still a minute and a half on the clock, and he's down 1 charge. But he's also still got that C4, which can be equally terrifying when trying to attack up one of these plane ramps. Meanwhile, in the rest of the plane, Kush has decided for a very aggressive push on the backside, and Orbit has done the same thing, has taken down Canadian in the process. But up top behind them, Necrox is still there. Mystical firing up from the stairs to the guy pushing up underneath, takes down Kix. Now Necrox is looking to push down behind these members of the attacking Orbit squad. Can he get down here with the right kind of timing? Goes around, finds one, looks for the second who's on his drone, tears them apart, picks up 2 huge kills, and suddenly the numbers advantage is back in Mythic's favor. Young and Snake, the last 2 up, pushing from the front end of the plane now. They know roughly where these guys all are. They're on their right-hand side, but can they get in through this doorway is the question. Be brave. Smoke doesn't quite land where he wants it to, but there's a trophy system there anyway to take out 2 of them. The third one will go through and actually smokes off Mystical. Not the hallway to his right. Snake's going to rush across the gap. He will follow him through to cover it, and they both get inside. Very quick movement, and Gingy cannot land the shots he needs to, and Snake returns by shutting Gingy down. Now he can hide behind the shield and go for the plant, but the push is coming forward from Necrox and Mystical, and Necrox gets the kill onto Snake. That's the diffuser down. Now Young has to kill 2 people. Mystical pushing around the right side, and he drops his shield to take the shot. Mystical puts him down, and Orbit's attack there, not as convincing as I would have liked it to be.
One huge mistake I think he made was strafing so much as the shield.
I also don't know why Snake even tried to shoot back into that corridor. You can
Right.
get behind that chair, which is bulletproof. You've also got a shield
Yeah.
in the room for you, holding them a little further out, and you can at least get the plant down.
Right.
Then take the fight.
Exactly. I mean, they managed to somehow both just run right across the open hall. They didn't smoke.
Yeah.
I mean, the smoke went into the corner. I don't think they really smoked anybody out completely.
No,
Everybody could
Mystical,
still
the
see
holes he'd made sort of couldn't see.
Right.
But you also got to note, the reason everyone throws multiple smokes on it if there's no trophy system, it's because of how unreliable the client-side smoke can be.
Right.
So
And
taking that gamble was already huge.
They somehow managed to get it. He had the shield, but instead he was strafing so much that there's no way he could cover. I just get the plant down first and then worry about the picks.
Yeah.
They're not going to run straight to the room.
You know they both have to come from that hallway too.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. Interesting ideas there from Orbit. More importantly, the biggest problem was letting the Crocs come down from the cockpit, shoot 2 of them in the kitchen in the back.
Right.
Really decimate their 2-prong attack.
Stuck on their iPhone.
Not droning properly around the rest of the map. Not checking the different ways in, and yeah, the Crocs made them pay for it. Really nice timing by him, and good patient play to get himself in that position when he needed to. Here's the Orbit defense. Still no crazy different attackers here. The Fantastic Five are the Mythic roster.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser. Attackers must locate and defuse the bomb.
We begin to see their defense take shape. They're using 4 members still inside here right now.
K9 already took care of Gingy.
Will dick around. Orbit do grab that first kill as Gingy is taken out from the peak at the backside by K9. And then he makes his way back up to join the rest of the team. Snake, being the sole man playing inside A, is not the worst in the world being a shotgun player. Can be very, very strong having a shotgun in that room. Especially when, as you see teams try and rush in there in a couple of seconds because of how hard it is to get across from the other room to there. And well, you're rushing into a shotgun, especially a frost shotgun. That's going to suck. Mythic lose Mystical, and they're outside the reset timer. Wasn't the already dead players. They are down to 3 men now. We will have to remake after this round, but it's going to suck for them. An already tough to attack map. Kush then misses the drone as it first comes through. It will get inside and catch a little bit more information, but without surprise here, they find out that most everyone is in the front end of the plane. This Crocs clearance to shove forward a little way. Up top, while Damien Canadian push forward very aggressively underneath. And notice the shotgun play here on Thermite. Not often you see attackers run shotguns.
I don't know if we've seen ever in the Pro League anyway.
I didn't feel confident enough to say that, but you've been doing it for me.
I'm fairly confident that we have not seen a 10-14 busted out on Thermite.
That I can go with you. We've never seen a Thermite run a shotgun. I'll speak to the other attackers. But, yeah, it's interesting. Can they make it work? Spray coming through towards the inside room. Bandit on the other side of the wall, then we'll put a battery down in one location. Canadian not quite touching it yet, but the batteries are all going out. And when they already know that Thatcher is dead, now that K9 has given that call out, suddenly it's like, yeah, you're not getting through here at all, are you? And you know it. Canadian's now up against a wall that he can't do anything about, but he does have a small little angle here he can fire through. Takes a little bit of damage while trying to. With the shotgun, it's a lot harder to see in there. Ash then peeks around the corner and goes for one shot. Canadian immediately sprints around it afterwards and is taken out by Kicks. The shotgun then ultimately never even being fired in vain anyway. Not much as Kush peeks around. Kush will take down Damien while the Crocs tries to take the bullet for him. He ends up taking the flashbang for him instead. They're not going to push in and be stupid while he's flashed. They're just going to play patient, and Orbit will undoubtedly win this defense as Young fires into the side of Necrox's head, puts him down. So, yeah, I mean,
or just going for gunfights. I mean, they basically have all the great guns. So I mean, I don't.
Yeah, going for the straight gunfights. You mentioned the trapdoors on this plane, even once they're reinforced and blown open,
right,
don't give too
defenders
much of an opening.
All the seats and all the things in the ceilings, and they're nothing like the trapdoors in Oregon. That's for sure.
Yeah, that is 100%.
And there's only a couple walls that are really.
This view kind of tells you everything you need to know about the trapdoors.
Right.
Look how much stuff there is that's technically on the roof of this room.
Right.
All
those pipes, do it.
Like there's a trapdoor, I believe it is. Yep, right there. There you go. Lots of different angles there. This blocks most of the angle into that room. Not a whole lot to be seen there.
Right.
Next trapdoor in here is right here. And that's down into this little dead room, which no one ever actually goes into anyway.
Exactly.
Last one that does sometimes get played is this one. And to be fair, if you're dropping through that, you've already got to have control of this other end of the bomb site anyway.
Right.
So why drop through it, just coming through these 2 angles, because that's already enough. So yeah. You can see why they're not running the Thermite, and see whether or not it works for them.
It is nice with Thermite to open up that little hall we were just looking at there. Just because it's another thing for them to worry about. They can't put their back to there and look down towards A. So it's good to just get that open even if you don't really play it as much. But other than that, I don't really see any other purpose for Thermite.
No. So Young then will be immediately up and near the entrance to cargo hold for now. Drones his way in to check for it. Kush is already right up and in the meeting and starting to push in this direction. We'll pre-fire into the kitchen in case there's someone there, but there's not. Everyone from Mythic playing downstairs this time, and ultimately K9 and Orbit going is doing a much, I was going to say better job at droning out the top couple of floors and checking they're clear, but that is not the case. Necrox still sitting in the same spot he was previously. Could still be set up to come and stab him in the back. This wall being reinforced was actually spotted by K9's camera, but he wasn't aware of it. Damie has been down now at range from this backside of the room, and as they try and revive him, he gets finished off by kicks again. Nice little push in, shooting down up top from here, holding that very tight angle, getting that early kill for him, as Young now is being locked outside the cargo hold by the smokes from Mystical. And as a result, it's slowing down everyone's push. These guys are not coming down from up top without that all clear.
Or are they?
They do now. Getting down over both of these smokes. Canadian there firing through the gap in the boxes. Does take down one. Necrox gets the second one, and Young is still stuck outside. All right, I think you're right. They shouldn't be pushing down there. But they did, and that allowed Necrox to flank just like he did previously. The C4 on the door will help them open it up.
And he doubled back to sledge the barbed wire after his teammate had already passed it too.
Yeah, I mean, not the worst idea. You could want the safe escape.
Right.
If it all goes wrong, but when the escape was still being covered by Necrox because you didn't drone out properly again, it's not going to make a difference. Young then still looking for his way in. Orbit have K9 there with him. Still, he can't find an opening. Well, Kush has covered the entire middle floor of the plane. Discovered that's clear, but Necrox, as we mentioned, had already come down from the floor above and done the damage he needed to. Is now holding inside with his team. 35 seconds on the clock. Drone been placed in one location to give cover for the squad. But a couple of very low angle shots coming out, giving Necrox's position away. Orbit will pick up one. Ash comes in as Mystical's idea is now there, but Canadian comes around behind, takes down two and leaves just Young. Young will land the headshot, but is it going to be enough? Mystical proned around the corner, will take down Young, same as the first round, as soon as he lowers his shield to try and take the shot for him. And once again, Orbit's attack isn't very convincing, and I'm left questioning for another round.
Why have
you picked plane?
Yeah. They've picked it a lot, and it doesn't seem to, I don't know. They, you know, I feel like the team that picks plane for NAPC has been Orbit consistently. Yeah. And I can't remember exactly how many times. I want to say three times.
2-3 on the mainstream at least, yeah.
And, and it's... Haven't seen much evolution with their attack plays.
Yeah, never once have I seen them like go for an attack and be like, oh, they were caught unlucky because that bat and dip play worked for the other team. Or they lost that firefight with like a millisecond timing or a split-second flick headshot. Nothing these things were just like out of their control. They were just always things that, especially in this game, were Necrox being allowed to run around the rest of the map, which doesn't take long to check because it's plain and it's tiny.
Oh, yeah.
And he's flanked them twice and picked up some very important kills now to demolish their attack. So yeah,
and they're picking classes straight for the time to kill and the weapons and the the gunfights. Not really any use out of the actual devices or anything like that. So
yeah. Oh, I don't know. Interesting attempts, but now they're back onto defense and they are once again defending the basement. They've gone upstairs and reinforced all the trapdoors because they are still expecting the thermite here for Mythic, and it's right to do so. Canadian has picked it. They are still using their standard Fantastic 5. And the other thing here to note that Mythic aren't using, but Orbit are, is the shield, which has also not done a whole lot for their plays. Yes, they're using it to try and get a little bit of info, but he's not gaining much for them, and they're definitely not doing too much with it. He spent most of that round sitting outside the cargo room.
Right, rather than sprinting in and crossing to the right side of the cargo room, if he had just come in and put up hard left, that would have let his teammate sprint across, who could have easily killed the, I don't remember who it was that was laying down.
Mystical.
In the back. Mystical.
Yeah, the smoke.
Yeah.
And then the Canadian, the pulse push would have pushed straight into the shield, and bang, you're now locked in next to a shield. Not a nice place to be.
Right, instead he sprints across, takes a bunch of damage, doesn't help his teammate get into the room at all.
Canadian then shoots both of his teammates in the back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So, not the way I like to see a shield used. K9 is really admiring that view, kicks as well. And everyone once again playing patiently. Snake at the backside is firing onto Damie. We'll see 4 outside, but that's not going to do too much at all. Damie looks to push upstairs. And again, they're leading the way with the diffuser. But to be fair, if Damie dies there, that's not the worst place for the diffuser to be dropped. And
he will.
Down it will go.
I don't know if I would have kept pushing Frost like that.
No, not without, like, Canadians underneath you. Why would Canadian not just drone for you and give
Right.
you that information or something? I don't know. But a free kill handed over then to Snake. You can hear exactly where he is. Oh, and he'll find Canadian as well. Now they drone for it. Drone is taken out. Canadian has been down but not outed.
Found where you died from.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's definitely Snake. It's definitely Snake. He gets away to safety for now, but he's got to be very cautious about it. You can hear more footsteps around and a couple more pre-fires on the corner. As it is, and there's actually nobody close to him because K9 is covering it. K9 will find the Crocs' backside. Not enough to land the final kill shot, but it's a lot of damage here onto the Crocs. And he will start to pre-fire a corner, but the wrong corner. K9 shoots him in the back, so back onto Snake we go. As once again, Canadian's coming up the stairs, and this time there's no revive for him. And around the corner comes Mystical, and he misses so many shots that Snake is on for the ace. Looks aggressively to go and get it. And
He wanted it though.
He did want it, and it doesn't fall his way. But K9 will immediately say, all right, that round's done. We're
Yeah.
Finished playing with that one, takes down Gingy, and once again, it is a round-to-round trade, giving us a draw. 1 round apiece in this remake, making it 2 rounds apiece total, as we're back to see Orbit on attack again.
So many ways into the plane.
And everyone uses the same one.
It's one of those, you walk up those stairs. I mean, that northwest entrance is great if no one's hanging out there. If you can start getting ready to play the stairs, use Ash, take out some of the barbed wire going down, all that stuff. But the second that Frost takes 2 shots and throws a C4 at you, that's when you go, we'll revisit this idea. Yeah, like, why would you want to push a Frost? And so slowly, too, as Ash, to just kind of stand there, move up a little bit. You're Ash. You're supposed to run in there. If you're if you're committing to it, you know, go all in.
Back into the meeting room and executive office then is the Mythic defense. Reset to round number 1 as they are. But now they get another shot at it. Let's see if they can do the same this time as they did before, or if, as we saw, this magic strategy from Orbit would still be on the table. Maybe they'd done better if the Crocs hadn't flanked them.
Right.
Can they actually find him this time?
Just waiting to see that beautiful attack push, and so far,
Yeah.
I'm just not getting it.
So far it's hidden.
And once again, they're definitely going for just those, the best classes to kill people with.
Kush
Attackers recovered
at
the
the
bomb
back end of the
diffuser.
plane.
Attackers are moving out to
With his
locate a
drone.
bomb and defuse it.
Find too many people. Everyone else upstairs, but very much the front side of the plane for Mythic. The Crocs and Canadian once again upstairs, and the Crocs adding the same spot he did before. Reinforces the wall so he doesn't get shot in the back, and then watches down the rest of the plane. And then it was allowed to come around behind them and catch him by surprise.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Young immediately picks up the diffuser, makes his way up the main entrance stairs, same as they did before. Snake was with him, and this is how they got inside the objective last time, but couldn't hold it. Will they be allowed in again? Let's watch Snake's drone play. Not a lot of it. Immediately taken out from behind down in the corridor. I would like to see them maybe mix in glass here if they're going to continue pushing up this stairwell. Because the positions that Mythic are playing inside,
Could get shot through the windows.
yeah, with a, I mean the prone position where Bandit is right now, this can get shot from outside on top of that entranceway. We've seen it time and time again. And Gingy's played it now twice in a row.
The thing is, though, as long as somebody is close to one of the doors, it's so easy to just step out and take Glaz out from wherever he's at.
Yeah,
As
but
long
not
as
if
they
there's a
have an
shield in front, like Young is, and has been twice now.
True, true, true.
So, I don't know.
Bomb located
Kicks
by
will
attackers.
peek out from underneath and pick up the first kill then. Managed to take out Mystical as he was looking into the stairwell from within the objective room. Gingy now gets spotted in that corridor. Cautious of coming up again, and this time Frost is there, sees her, takes her down too. Canadian is out. This could be big for Orbit now, having a 2-man advantage already, but it is still plain. So maybe it's not enough. Gingy is now very cautious of what may be behind him, and the pre-fire comes around from Kicks. He finds him, finding all 3 kills so far, and the Crocs has to start coming downstairs. He's going the long way around, which means Damie has a lot of work to do. Can cover both entrances from here. There's no thermite again on Orbit, so they cannot get in from the kitchen. They have to come down this corridor. Necrox gets around behind, takes down K9, so starts with 1, but now they're going to be hunting him. They've got a minute on the clock, so they could wait and try and find him before pushing forward. It is not what they're going to be doing. Makes a hole here to try and see if there was someone hiding behind it. There wasn't. Damie's now firing down the far end onto Kix and has given his position away. Now he's got to find Snake, and Snake will find him first. Necrox is the last man, and he is a long way down the plane, and they know it. Pushing into the kitchen has allowed them to get in for the plant, and finally Orbit win around on attack. This is why the teams pick it. This is what you hope for, but it's not over yet for Mythic. There's still a chance for them to turn it, and to be fair, all that work was done by Kix there.
Right. Yeah, that was a lot of good headshots from Kix.
Picking up those very first 3 kills when he did, definitely took control of that for the team, and well,
and that's
took advantage of the fact that even the defenders have to be immobile on this map.
Right.
It's like, I've killed one right above these stairs because that's one of the only few places you can be. Pre-fire it, get him. Frost, you're probably going to be in there too. And you've droned a couple of times, and I'll look for it. And what a surprise, I found you in that corner too. Perfect. Last player, well, I already droned you out in the corridor, and you cannot move from there. And I'm pretty sure Snake was probably watching through the window for him from outside, or Young was, to let him know whether he'd moved from there or not. And pre-fires on the corner with perfect crosshair placement, finds himself the head quick and easy. And then with only 2 players left, and one of them being Aroma, they made it work. And yes, okay, they didn't find Necrox again, which I wasn't a fan of early on, but this time they made it work with how long they had him wait around the rest of the map, with how long they had him be static elsewhere. They put the pressure on him to move, and when he finally did feel safe enough to go, they were already in a numbers advantage where they could dedicate someone to looking for his flank rather than him getting the drop. K9 going for the peek outside again. This time it does not work for him. Necrox wins that fight despite all the blood on the floor. K9 goes down right outside the main entrance, and suddenly Orbit defending with 4. Kicks, C4's out the main entrance, does down Damie, but not out him, and that allows him to get straight back down the main staircase. And safety, no one's going to peek out there for him again, especially after K9 has already died peeking out once. Necrox running away from Damie, not going to go for the revive. Oh, Gingy was there to do it instead. I don't know where he came from, but he's done it. Damien will decide to go for a different push in then instead. Kush looking to be, again, very mobile, something that you don't always see from defense in here. They're definitely confident that there is no Galaz picked by Team Mythic. And now starting to set up again. Kush then watching the main entrance, top of that staircase through the window. Kix is there ready with a smoke just in case. Snake standard holding in here on the A side alone. And Young waiting by the kitchen should they try and come and thermite this. So ultimately Canadian and friends have complete control of the rest of this map. Once they've cleared it and droned it and got control and sure of that, they will start to pressure onto that wall again. Now this time, we don't see the shock. He picked it and had a suspicion. Can't hit the camera.
What's up, camera?
Nice. There we go. We'll open into the kitchen. Now, Orbit, no, they're coming from this direction. Can they do anything about it other than readjust? Well, they have readjusted slightly. He's still there, but Kush has turned around to look through this tiny gap into the kitchen. Wow, nice grenade coming from somewhere, I believe, over... Gingy, where does that shot come from?
What does Gingy do in this map? Oh, he
wow,
got him
through that tiny little gap. Damie has been downed in the frost trap, but wow.
Bust out the old compass and protractor and get the perfect angle.
Damie's been down twice now, so he is really, really hurting for this. Necrox trying to drone in from the entrance, and Damie takes a lot of damage again. Canadian now going to immediately start putting the warp charge on the wall. Kicks will take down Mystical through this hole. Now Damie's looking to go down through there. Necrox takes down Kicks, but Snake immediately answers by taking down Necrox as he pushed in through the main entrance, but it is still a 2v3. Damie, though, has so little health, he might as well be dead. But he's a shield, so that don't matter.
He could just sit in that doorway and be something that they have to deal with.
Snake comes around the corner, and wow, Gingy takes his head clean off. Now Young's got to find all of them on his own. He's going to get flashed out, and that's going to allow Blitz to come inside. Another flash goes off, and Young is stuck behind the table, sprinting left and right, waiting for Vision to come back. But Damie said no. That's a headshot.
And that is...
and Attacker's winning another round.
Case in point why, yes, the reason that people...
Actually, the shot that landed was one on the unscoped.
One of the biggest complaints in the... Yeah, right. the random one. One of the biggest complaints in this map is, of course, the whole defenders coming outside and shooting people just as they spawn, blah, blah, blah. But what we've talked about before is that is the dumbest play to make. It's not worth
if that is your
going.
whole defense strategy, it ain't gonna work.
And it's not ever worth going for that pick because it's so easy to defend once you're inside the plane. There's no point in going for that extra pick. Of course, if you can pick off a player in Oregon or any of those longer, bigger maps, Clubhouse, something, that's huge. But in this map, it is not worth it.
Nope.
With it so defensive-sided.
It is very possible to hold these bomb sites 3v5.
Right. So going outside and losing one of your defenders to try to kill Ash, to try to get that quick pick, was not worth it by K9. Was it K9 that ripped?
Yeah. K9.
And I mean, now they had that attack round up. They had this in the bag, and then they just threw away their defense round.
We talk about how it's the best play and how Velocity kept doing it backwards to just sit, hold angles, be patient, let people walk into your crosshairs rather than be the peekers.
Right.
This is the perfect map for it because there are
it's the
so
perfect
few angles that they can actually walk into.
Right.
It's not like you're stuck there covering like 3 different spots yourself, which admittedly a good team should never have to cover so many multiple spots.
Exactly.
But like this map over anything, it does not take much work for people to say, all right, I'll watch here, I'll watch here, I'll watch here, I'll watch here. And we've got 4 people watching every possible entrance.
Right.
Especially against a team like Orbit right now that don't run a thermite.
Yeah.
So Mythic
So you
just
can
have
really
to sit there
narrow
and
it
watch
down.
this hallway at the bottom of your screen and the main entrance. And that is it. They cannot get to either of these bomb sites.
Yeah.
But if they
Orbit's
start
going
peeking
straight
out
for the
aggressively
kills,
again.
and yeah, they have no access to anything
Yeah.
except for soft walls with Sledge.
So Orbit should never win this attack. Well, once again, they're giving it a shot. Gingy behind that window again. And exactly the same operator choices here from Orbit.
Man, I wish I was glass.
Yeah. Watching the windows. There's even bullet holes on it. He has tried to shoot that. I don't know if anyone's told him that he can't shoot through those windows. But, well, he knows now. There's
Just
a
trying to rough them up, scare them.
phallic shape on the wall here.
You would see it that way.
6 a.m.
It's been a lonely 2 months.
It's not been only 2 months, Derek. I've had you.
That's true. It's all our lunch dates.
Young choosing a different route in then after giving Snake the cover on the top of this staircase that he had done previously. Snake's drone gets stuck a little bit inside the staircase. We move later. Kush now pushing down the rest of the plane, and once again they're cautious of the Necroc's flank, but they haven't found his exact location yet. They're trying to come up this stairwell, and once more it has been smoked off and locking them back. Kicks, starts to cook a grenade, comes straight up, immediately in through the hole. It will go boom, and does down Mystical, but he is immediately upped again by Doc. Next time in Canadian. We'll hear another smoke out there. Kicks takes another tick of damage from it, but then eventually turns and sprints away. We're down to a minute on the clock again. Kicks take another tick from this smoke. Now we'll look to go again. Hasn't got any grenades left as Young heads on up. Takes a bit of damage from the hole, turns his back and takes some health damage too. Now gives it up. K9 opens up 1 kill on Necrox. Kicks gets Mystical now as he follows up the stairs. And this is looking better from Orbit. Pre-firing the spots, and Necrox's flank wasn't good this time. Canadian though shoots straight past Young and actually takes down Kicks. Then shoot through the wall to his left. Nice play to take down Young. And we'll finish him off after a quick reload. And that's the diffuser, that's even worse. But Kush, through this little gap, takes down one more. He sprint across the gap past Doc. He is shrugging off a lot of damage here, but there's 3 members of Orbit still pushing forward. Gingy takes down Snake from behind. And now the last 2 members are pushing from the same location. They have been droned out. Canadian will take the first shots and goes down without being able to revive himself, but Gingy's T4 will take out K9. He doesn't see Ash get past, but will swivel for the shot and not land it.
Have been eliminated.
I think he ended up shooting that base little floorboard thing.
It is still penetrable.
I don't think it is. That
It's not destructible, I know that, but I think it's still penetrable, no?
I don't know.
The baseboard. But whatever it was, Kush gets the kill and
Didn't
Orbit
do it.
win another attack.
So now all they have to do is not go for the stupid peaks.
This is clearly the Orbit strat, right? As you mentioned, they're picking for firefights.
Right.
And the strat was, well, we have the shield for info, we've got drone for info, and we'll just pre-fire and pre-peek and win firefights
Right.
time and time again.
Use the stronger guns, use the faster classes, and just go for headshots.
Now, it wasn't working in the early rounds because they didn't know the positions Mythic were playing.
Right.
Couldn't pre-fire them well, weren't used to the way they did it. Took them a couple of bits to figure it out. It now has. They now figured it.
Right.
Attackers
And is
need to
working
locate
for them.
and defuse as many
But
bombs
in
as
doing
they
so,
can.
they've also started to screw up their own defense.
Right. They win the attack round, they get cocky, and then they run outside and try to get a pick.
Yeah, I expect we will not see K9 doing that again now, though, because they are on map point with this round. And, well, it's going to come down to holding or winning this to go to overtime on that. Now, in theory, as we mentioned, defense-sided map by a long way should be all she wrote here for Mythic, and it should be game, set, match points to Orbit. That, however, is not necessarily the case. Snake putting down this trap here in this little corner. We did down Damie earlier on with one shield. There's another one around this corner here. Now backs up into the room, and what a surprise. K9 is stuck inside the meeting room itself, not trying anything too crazy. Kush makes a lot of holes here above this stairwell, and we'll give them plenty of angles here in towards the kitchen should they want it. As Kicks makes some holes above the stairwell as well, as the push comes out from Mythic. Once again, Orbit playing very, very close to their chest here and inside. And once more, Snake inside the A site, completely reinforced off from both angles. Just waiting for that person to make that aggressive push inside on top of what is 2 traps they will not be able to shoot without sprinting in. And then straight into a shotgun, even if they make it past those traps somehow. Comes then down to the rest of Orbit hold this meeting room area. And that will be the map. So can they do it? Well, let's see where Damie's push is in. It's right up the other end. Gingy a little way down with the drone leading, going from the top floor as Necrox fires up from the meeting entrance stairs. School coming up underneath, and Canadian is still droning from up top. So let's watch Mystical as he switches to his drone, checks the stairs for himself. In fact, drone the lower floor next to him. As Necrox has finally decided to come back up the meeting room stairs. They are going to soon realize the rest of the plane is clear. And then find an opening. Gingy deciding it's safe to go in up top now that Damie has covered mostly all the plane, and now the team are going to come joining Canadian here too. Yet to really see a successful thermite play on this kitchen wall, which isn't a huge surprise. Once again, through that tiny gap, Gingy is looking for a return frag because Kush is firing out through it. Kicks firing down out through the entrance. K9 firing down into the stairwell below, and well, Orbit's still being very mobile within here, to be fair. Right. Snake peeks out and comes back in to check to see if there's anyone on that main staircase. But right now, Necrox is droning again.
Now they're doing the polar opposite. No roamers, no, just all the people piled into one room.
Firing through that gap, but right now Smoke is actually crouched, so is lower than that spot. Gingy looking for the early kill. As Kicks is the first man to go now, Necrox picking him up as he peeks up the meeting entrance. Fires through the holes that were wide open, giving Team Mythic the man advantage to begin with, but there's still 3 people inside this meeting room holding tight. Kush now looking at the stairwell as Mystical is right underneath him. Mystical's going to peek up and not see anything. The smoke will go out towards Necrox and lock him out there. Shield coming out from the other entrance. That smoke will go down there, push him back. And C4 is the last thing he's got in his hand. Switches the next smoke. There we go. Last one out towards Necrox in the entrance. But 20 seconds on the clock. They've got to come in. The smoke comes through, and Mystical takes down Kush with a pre-fire. Now Young has to deal with Damie inside. Damie shooting the batteries out here so they can get the thermite charge up. But with 10 seconds left, that's not really going to make a difference. Damie pushing in with the shield. Will miss the flash and then get shot, but they immediately trade him out. And now it's down onto K9 and Snake. Snake has been down, but K9 will stop the diffuser. And that's all it takes to give the round over to Orbit. And a horribly, horribly scrappy defense. Yeah. But it does the job, and even with 3 members left alive, Mythic cannot hold the map.
If K9 had opted to just go for firefights there, they had to know that all the players were right there. They didn't need a bomb plant.
No.
There was no one to draw in.
Even if you go for the bomb plant, why go so deep into the room for it?
He was almost
just got into the room straight away and then dropped down. At least that guy has the furthest that he then has to run around that to come and get you.
That was
wasting an extra second as he sprinted that
most times I like that rush in, somebody quickly try to plant deal, but him just sprinting in, there's no point. Everybody was in that room. The round was over with gunfights there. There's no way a plant was going down, and if it did, it still would have come down to gunfights and be a defuse.
So, we do now see, of course everyone had to back out because that was a remade game. We technically didn't hit the end, but we did. 5 rounds to 3 in favor of Orbit, so a risky pick, but a successful one all the same. And here, of course, are the highlights on your screen. This big, big play from Snake, which, again, kind of went unpunished.
Yeah. And it's
everyone pushing that same location.
It's funny because this is that attacking difficult map, yet a lot of these attacks were just plain mistakes that would have lost on any match, on any map.
Yeah.
Just the...
Now, ultimately, my 6 a.m. brain has forgotten what that's going to do to the standings.
That.
Mythic needed to win to get back in the top 2, no? Yes, because they were on...
Yeah, they have to get the 3-0. Or they have to get the 3 points.
They were on 10 points or 11 points?
They are on 10, I believe.
Yeah, they're on 10. So they had to win. The draw was not enough. They had to win to get themselves up and above VWS, who are now on 12.
Right.
VWS, of course, still have a game to play. In fact, currently playing it against Velocity. But that is basically all she wrote for Mythic. No chance of them getting in the top 2.
Yeah.
They could still salvage a point from this and end up drawing it out and getting that 3rd, 4th place down to the round win-loss. And of course, 3rd, 4th is still important for Season 2 qualification. But the top 2 is gone. That is VWS and Orbit.
Orbit just shut them down. Do any other teams have a chance at this point? Or is it already...
No, VWS are the only team still with a game to play in that top 4. And they're already in 2.
So that's it then.
Now, from here, VWS, should they beat Velocity, could get 15 points and go first. Unless Orbit win here and get 16 points and stay first. So that first, second seed is still up for grabs.
Right.
The question is it VWS or is it Orbit? Now remember, first place from North America will be playing against Sisu, the 2nd place team from Europe. Second place from North America will be playing against Penta, 1st place from Europe.
Right.
So 2 big squads, but I'm pretty sure Penta is the one everyone wants to avoid. They have been the favorites in Europe.
So
They've been the favorites for the entire season.
Getting 1st place here at least maybe might get you to Penta in the end, right?
Yeah. That's I think that's the way everyone's thinking. It's you will.
Right. But it sounds like Velocity.
Snap!
Velocity has won the first.
Velocity win map number 1, 5 rounds to 2. So that means the only thing that Mythic can get out of this is VWS can get out of this is 1 point. Orbit are guaranteed 1 point. So that is basically our standings locked. Orbit are first, VWS are second. So it's going to be Orbit versus Sisu, VWS versus Penta.
Yep.
Those are your PC final standings. Those are your PC finals in Cologne, May the 7th. Those are the games that are going to be played.
That's it.
Big matchups. But we are still waiting on the last 2 players of Mythic to come in to this new lobby and play Consulate, their 2nd map here, because the points they get, as we mentioned, are still important for Seasons 2, still important for a couple of little things here and there, and of course we have to finish the games. So this is still equally important, and I know for a fact, not for a fact, but I'm pretty confident the teams don't know that VWS result yet. Well, they shouldn't do. Should be in the zone, thinking about this game and nothing but this game.
Yeah.
Getting the information from outside should not be on their mind. Worrying about the other game should not be on their mind. They're playing their game and this game, and there's nothing else mattering in the world right now.
But somebody's probably in like Discord and told.
Yeah, somebody probably just jumps straight in and you play message. Oh, they won! But in a properly true professional tone setting, which I like to think these 2 squads playing for the top spot are in a true professional setting, ignoring all those messages, do not disturbs, leaving the notifications off. Not paying attention, just playing this game, but whatever, we'll see. But they're still missing 2 players. Consulate then, let's talk about the map then, because it's Mythic pick. Orbit going to start as our blue attack squad. Mythic are going to start as our defending team over on the orange side. And this is a map which we've seen some explosive rounds on in the past. Garage defense not always now becoming the first choice.
Right.
Often seeing that top floor, CEO's office and meeting room being picked. Why do you think that's starting to rise to the top as that initial selection?
Of course, I think the biggest thing is all the top-down play now. Once it was discovered, oh, rather than throwing all our flashbangs and grenades through the hole and then closing our eyes and hoping for the best, why don't we just get Fuse in the piano room, poop on down, and run Bandit away and then open it?
So
and,
we've started to see some interesting picks here from Orbit, running the no thermite.
Right.
Think they might do that again. Run the no thermite, send the 2nd person up in the piano room and just use the breach charges to open the floor up instead of opening the garage?
If they're, I mean, they could. I still think getting that open, like we've said in the past, even on any of the maps with a garage, just opening it, even if you don't play it, just not letting the team have that comfort of I can put my back to the garage and focus on inward towards the map. I think that alone is just big enough in itself. I don't value the whole wasting all of your smokes and flashes and grenades through those little drone holes. I think that's a huge waste of something that might not even work out, and then you have very little ability to push or flush people out of other parts when you don't get the garage open.
Yeah.
So I think it'll still become a big piano play, and of course very roamer intensive, all that, just because of the way you open a couple drop downs, you you know, hide, and it's very easy to hide. It's very easy to open so many drop downs that it's a kind of big map, but it's nothing like Oregon. You can rotate very quickly and then disappear just as fast as we've seen with plenty of roamers.
Yeah, the transfers from floor to floor are also pretty rapid too. We've
Right.
seen a couple of people run roamers in the complete opposite end. You spawn in garage, they go into the
Top
complete
right, yeah.
admin office at the other end.
Right.
And yeah, do a lot of work on the way back.
Yeah.
We've also seen them be killed pretty rapidly thanks to some successful drone play and then surrounded from windows because there's a lot in that location.
Right, right.
It's going to be a case of where they choose to put them. As we mentioned, Necrox in that last round had a tendency to sit in a corner somewhere and roam and
I
wait
could
for that
see
last
him
moment.
Definitely working
see
the
him
roams
doing
in this
work
map,
here.
especially since it is their pick too.
Mm-hmm.
So if he was that confident to roam an airplane, which is Orbis pick, I would imagine definitely see him roaming in this one.
Yeah, so we'll wait and watch and see. And whether or not he's going to have a helping hand is another key factor.
Right.
Map this big, we often see teams of roamers going in, or at the very least, two singular roamers around different areas of the map to draw attention.
That more recessed roamer that's kind of playing closer to the objective, and then the one that's just satellite out in the middle of nowhere doing his thing.
And as you mentioned, the importance of holding the piano room, that's normally where that slightly recessed roamer is sitting. And then with a trapdoor in the toilet, perhaps, he sits in there, fires into piano, keeps him busy, and then drops down through the trapdoor if needs be, or
and at the
tries
very
to hold
least, if he does die, at least he knows now to relay what the team, you know, they have a fuse up there, whatever, rather than just sitting here with my battery.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, okay, I'm dead. Or running.
More often than not, we'll of course see that trapdoor in the bathroom reinforced.
Of course, yeah.
But yes, it doesn't have a hole in the back or whatever, some fancy different angle to rotate through. But we do no longer have to speculate.
Because we can just see it.
Yes, we do. Everyone's in. Orbit and Mythic are good to go on map number 2 then. Blue team will be Orbit and attacking first. Defense will be Mythic defending first. And it is, as we mentioned, Mythic's pick. Map number 2 then. Orbit already 1 round up. Secured themselves a singular point for this. And now it is time to see whether they can get all 3 or getting themselves another one. So. Here's the defensive lineup from Mythic, and of course they are taking the garage, no surprise, and there it is. No thermite.
Yep, they're going for it. They're
Same operators as they ran on plane.
I think they are pretty much the only team in the entire Pro League across all the platforms to confidently and consistently not run thermite now.
Yeah, definitely so.
Just feel like he's just having the comfort of being able to open up 1 more avenue, 2 more avenues.
Yeah, okay, you don't want to open the garage, fine, I get it, but there are trapdoors which are very, very strong.
Right.
So, upstairs go a couple of the defensive players to get all of these trapdoors, which there are a lot of on this map.
5 seconds to insertion. Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Well,
Attackers are heading out
see
to
who
defuse
stays
the
up here.
bomb.
Mystical does break this trapdoor as I suspected, then immediately goes down through it, rather than staying up there to defend that location first.
Deploying sensor.
Well, ultimately no one else does. Canadian, Mystical, Davey playing a little bit more spread out. Mystical edging his way back upstairs.
So they opened it, but they're not going to play it there.
Yeah. Interesting. Let's watch from Young's perspective then, as we saw, of course, no thermite, which means everyone from always going to come from this direction.
Could have been a courtesy thing. Hey, we know you guys don't run thermite, so we just went ahead and opened this up for you.
Maybe so. Maybe there's that. It's a slow, steady push then. Snaky push for checking the admin windows, but now decide to go down. Orbit sending K9 here with Young. He's going straight down the spiral staircase, and again, he's holding the diffuser. Is it going to do the job? Damie spots him. Gets the call out that the shield is downstairs. But the shots will land onto Kicks upstairs first, and Young's taking a lot of damage down here. Now Mystical's pushing forward for him too. He's got to turn tail and run, and immediately gets shut down. Mystical grabs the one, Canadian C4 will grab another, and Orbit are falling apart real fast. Kicks upstairs, Canadian is down, Mystical is there to cover him, while Damien gets the revive. He can come down the stairwell. Will he find Mystical? Mystical finds him. Kush is the last man now. to find 4 players. He comes down, finds 1, finds 2, downs them both, and gets out alive. Ooh, this could be big. 1v4 is impossible. 1v2, not so. So catches them before they're set up and ready to receive him.
Especially if they're going to line up like that.
Yep. Into A is 1. Canadian, though, is around behind him. He's playing very, very panicky at the moment. Pulse is there. He suspects it. Goes to the pre-fire. Looks the other way. Doesn't see Gingy. Canadian is holding the corner. Gingy is still holding this angle. He's actually got a lot of room to move here and will go around in the distance. Spray comes out one way. Canadian is waiting to push this end. Makes a hold on the end, and that's expecting a Canadian rotate, but it's not. Canadian being very patient. Gingy as well. She's trying to bait them into move, but 35 seconds on the clock, and they are holding very, very true. Smoke's behind him. Pushes on in. He's forced 1 out of this room. That is Gingy. Sees him there. Sprints across the gap. Obviously didn't see him. Goes for the firefight and loses it. Gingy, saved by the bell, picks up that kill onto Kush. And well, Canadian was still a long way back, so it was important he got that kill, else it could have very much been possible there. But ultimately, Kush with a good attempt, but no cigar. Mythic on to attack will bring a much more standardized lineup to their team. Getting a Thermite in play, still bringing a Blitz out. Definitely a trend throughout the course of the entire day here with PC games, both on EU and NA. Shields. Blitz and Recruit still ultimately coming down to team preference, but Shields all the same. Orbit then down into defense of the basement themselves with a pretty standard defensive operator setup. Will swarm the floors above and begin their reinforcements. They will reinforce this trapdoor.
I can understand opening it, but not opening it and not playing it.
Yeah, I understand opening it if you're going to sit in there and then fire into, like fire through this wall into the piano room and use it as an escape. Yeah, fine. But you open it and then just leave it. It feels like a risk you don't need to take.
10 seconds remaining.
At least leave it closed, not reinforced, so that at least they make noise when they open it.
Right.
Give them positioning location, but whatever. Orbit, all pushed in a very similar place and made it work. Oh, nice shot from Mystical. Immediately takes down K9. We saw him on plane do a couple of early peaks. It clearly wasn't just a plane thing. Mystical was ready for it, shuts him straight down. As you mentioned how big this map is, every extra man is important.
Right. I'll accept it. I think a window peek on a map like this by K9 is not a mistake. He just whiffed the shot pretty good.
Kush will immediately respond by taking down Damie's shield pretty damn rapidly though. In the oh, I love this spot. Puts it underneath the Visa doorway, and then when he sees him come in on the camera, blow the C4.
Of course.
So down is the shield very, very early on. Now Mythic have got to push him without that front line. That information gather. As Necrox comes down the spiral staircase looking for someone. You know that Kush is around here in one location. Now he hears him shooting through a wall as well. Give himself an extra way out. While he's reloading, can Necrox make the most of it? That is key. Still hears Kush firing through the wall. Kush is still yet to make himself an actual usable opening. God, he's making a pig's dinner of this. The drone will find him, so it's even not usable by the time he's done it all.
Once again, we're in North American PC. You can't use phrases like pig's dinner. No one knows what that means.
Dog's bollocks?
Or dog's bollocks.
So, Kush holding back in the room. He's being closed in on by Necrox, and despite having the shotgun, loses out on the very close range fight. Gives Mythic the man advantage again. The rest of Orbit now are holding close inside the actual objective room itself. And as you saw, Young is here trying to hold the actual garage door, but once again, you lose control of the piano room, and that means doom. Bandit has to back away, and Canadian can open up this location with ease. Garage open then, and Orbit is suddenly losing a lot of mobility downstairs. Snake looking up through the hole in the floor, but finds a different one that he's being shot down through. Has to reposition in a panic. Just about gets out, but he's got 2 HP. Now Canadian's up and above Young, but in the time it takes him to get away from his own C4, Canadian also escapes it. And all he does is help make a bigger hole above his head. Necrox, the only man actually pushing on the floor of the bomb, will go in and find Kicks. Looks for Young, sees him, but can't land it. And there he goes back the other way to get the shot. Last man is Snake, and he has no health whatsoever. Mystical will finish him off, and Mythic grab themselves round number 2.
I will say so far, Mythic looks a lot more confident on their map than Orbit was looking on their pick. Granted, Orbit did pull it off, but Mythic is sweeping it right now pretty good.
Yep, 2-0 with confident rounds on both attack and defense.
Looks like it might be enough that Orbit's going to change it up. They still haven't picked 2 operators.
So,
One left. Thermite gets you into a room.
no, don't be silly.
Nope, Sledge's coming back up. Which now, with it being console office and meeting room, might work out a little bit better for them.
Yep. It is a little bit less.
Defenders, protect your
Right, there's
bombs
not
from being
as
defused
much
by
people are
attackers.
typically reinforcing that is really going to set you back as an attacker. There's so many windows to play, so many doors to play through, so many different rooms and stairs. I mean, arguably that one little spot on the west stairs, that Thermite can open up to give you guys a little bit more access, or maybe the bathroom if they reinforce it.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen some big plays with Thermite into this
Yes,
wall
that was
here,
what I was talking about.
but yes, that
That
is it,
one-
really.
Yeah, that's really it.
And I mean, if Orbit have shown us anything from any of the other maps and just not picking Thermite from all of them, it shows they definitely don't like to play the same way everyone else does.
5 seconds
So
left.
just because someone else has made a play through this little hole,
Yeah.
kind of suggests they won't go through.
Attackers
It's a
recover
good
the
thing to
diffuser.
open so that you're not
Attackers
as comfortable
must
sitting
locate
in that
and
little
defuse a bomb.
spot,
The
but
attacker's bomb diffuser has been dropped.
Yeah.
I mean, this is such a huge map with so many ways to come in on the top floor.
So again, the same 5. Young to lead the charge as they're up on towards a bunch of windows already
A bomb has been
outside the admin office, but most people on drones. Orbit opened up a couple as he headed, Kicks opened up a couple as he headed to the roof, and then opened further more. That one was occupied by another player for a couple of seconds there, but both of them more worried about getting to a safe place than shooting the other. Allows them to get away, get to safety. He looks down for another window, just about survives from the peek outside there that Gingy made. Sorry, Mystical made, in fact. And well, as a result, repositions again. They're looking for those early peaks. Canadian right on the bottom floor. Gingy here in the admin
Attackers
office
drop the
alone.
diffuser.
Crocs is very close.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Holding this angle.
Drone is ready to go.
Looking for anyone coming up from underneath. Also give a shout to Canadian to push up underneath if he sees anyone.
Drone spinning up.
Tammy holding what is ultimately a very exposed position if they lose control of the other end of the map.
Right.
So he's got a lot of faith here in Mystical, Gingy, and the Crocs to hold up the admin office.
But it's a very weird position, too, that could really work in his favor.
Yeah, could really catch Orbit by surprise.
Yeah.
Not expecting that. But Orbit now playing a little bit of the velocity game of sit and wait for them to mess up. But Mystical fends the first kill onto Snake before Kush will return a kill onto Necrox. Battery killed out by Young. Is he coming up the back staircase? Kush finds us another kill onto Gingy, so that's the admin office starting to be loose. And Damie now I expect will have repositioned, yes, into the actual bomb site itself. Not safe to be where he was. Young was forced to reposition. I believe Canadian came up behind him, forced him to turn tail and run. Didn't use his C4 to do it though, so he's still got that in his repertoire. That was French. Is that okay to use?
No, that's fine.
Okay, cool.
That's one of those French words that's common in English.
Alright, cool. Mystical back inside the bomb site does in fact have a Kicks on the window right next to him. Whether he knows it or not, he's going to have heard him now. Kicks. Is he going to get away with this? Mystical covering 2 different angles. Canadian does finally take down the shield using the C4. Now he stands up into Kicks' crosshairs. Mystical will shut him down with a quick weapon switch. 3 attackers still left, 2 defenders. Canadian a long way.
Recovered the bomb diffuser.
Damie has to hold the bomb site on his own for a while. Knows Kicks is outside that window, but doesn't know where the other 2 are. He will do now that one of them's firing at Canadian. Kicks is inside the room, goes for the shot, but lands at the chest height and not the headshot. That means Canadian now has to find 3 people. 2 of them are low health, but 3 is a lot. Diffuser goes down. That leaves Twitch a chance to get out the window and gives a whole strong defense position. One from the admin office misses, but he checks the wrong side, left or right. He goes right, he is left. One more in behind the bomb, goes for a pre-fire, but Kicks was not quite in the right spot. Canadian a little bit too far to the right.
Yep.
And Orbit get their first round on the board.
He was set up pretty well there. I mean, he managed to not get picked in the hallway, but again, like you said, sprayed the wrong side of the hall. definitely saw him jump outside, so he knew at least one was outside. He knew where they all were really fast, which was great, but just didn't have those pre-fire shots where they should have been.
So, Orbit couldn't defend the basement, couldn't attack the basement, but can defend that top. Sorry, can attack that top floor. Can they now successfully defend the basement instead? And they're looking for a second attempt.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Once again, Thermite has been picked. Now, last time they attacked down here, Damie's shield got picked off really, really early on and didn't have an impact in the round at all, other than to burn Kush's C4. But will he avoid it this time around? Will Kush even try the same thing? That's the key point.
Bomb located
This
by
time,
attackers.
Kix is going to reinforce this trapdoor. Sorry, never mind, that was Mythic who didn't. Kix did it both times. Well, Canadian and Damie putting their own drones in.
10 seconds left before
Damie's is
insertion.
down here, so we'll see if that C4 gets placed now, checking it for
5
himself.
seconds to insertion.
Making sure he doesn't fall for the same trick twice.
Attackers recovered the bomb
As Orbit,
diffuser.
the final
Attackers are
touches
heading out
on
to
their
defuse a bomb.
defense. So Orbit starts to make a couple of kill holes through angles. Kush now looking to go down, checks the camera into Visa, make sure it's not already opened. Has he put the C4 in there? Can't actually tell. No, it's still in his hand. Judging by that.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
Back on the cameras again. While the rest of K9 is still running around in a lot of different places on this map. Damie, though, deciding not to go that way at all. Maybe you did see on the camera.
Drones ready.
Attackers have recovered their
For
diffuser.
a couple of different angles. Big throw by GG. Up into the top floor. Sledge still watching this stairwell from outside. A really powerful spot, but K9 opens up the kill on the Crocs. And suddenly the defenders are on a man advantage. He's flanked up behind it, but then there is a quick return kill. Mystical taking down Kix. Snake holding the spiral staircase. K9 still at the top of this stairwell where Kix was killed. Yes, Mystical is close. He's holding an angle. Sledge will open the window right behind him and he turns and runs. Not want to get shot out from behind. Gingy will then drone up. Kind of chasing K9, but doesn't know exactly where to look for him. Checks inside this potential bomb site. Goes right around the corner. Does see him. The drone is killed off. K9 choosing to ultimately stay in the same spot. Kristen on a couple more drones will find the shield on one, but it is killed off quickly. Then sees another player creeping in the corner of the toilets from the main lobby. Upstairs, there is two. Is he going to go hunting for them? Let's see. Young still holding down here at the bottom of the staircase, using that penetrable glass for information. K9 on that top floor, taken out by Damie now. That's what they were doing up there, they were hunting him. And they get it successfully. Kush, are you going to hunt them? Well, you're going to see one at the bottom of the staircase, but can't land the shot. Has to reposition now because they're going to come hunting for you, but with 50 seconds on the clock, maybe you can waste their time long enough. Still can't get the kills. He's tagging Mystical, but it's not finishing him off. And, well, ultimately Mythic have realized that they cannot waste much more time hunting Kush. They have to get down towards the basement with only 40 seconds on the clock. They're going for it. Canadian then will open up a couple of trap doors. Right underneath this one is Young. He is completely flashed because Damien is pushing down in there.
Bomb located by
Takes Young down. Now the trapdoor will blow and Snake has to reposition into the cafeteria. Kush has come down from that spiral staircase. Now Snake flanks onto Damie, gets him down. But Kush is locked in one room. Snake has been located by Mystical, and while they'll go for the knife with Thermite, he loses. And Gingy will win the firefight straight up with Kush with a couple of seconds left on the clock. Mythic do secure themselves another round, but Kush nearly did all he needed with that delay, with that roam play. Just about, but dies just in the right second as far as Mythic are concerned to give them a 3-1 lead. So much better defense from Orbit, but ultimately it came down to the rumors and they did a good job with it. But as soon as it came on to the objective players and the pressure was on them to hold those objectives still, so they were all rumors that we've done all we can, cannot continue to hold them, they're pushing on you, the objective fell apart.
Right.
So, K9 and friends, Orbit back on attack with exactly the same 5, still refusing to run a Thermite, even though they're back to attacking the garage downstairs.
attackers need to locate and defuse bombs. Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
ADS placed on the bonnet of the car. And then all the walls being reinforced just the same as before. By Mythic. I wonder if they'll have cottoned on to the fact that Orbit do not run thermites yet. Whether Gingy waits any time around that location or positions anywhere else. This trapdoor is still open. Mystical's got a
10
shotgun.
seconds remaining.
Reinforces
5
this time.
seconds
There we
left
go.
before insertion.
Mythic.
Maybe it was an accident before.
Maybe.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser. Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
This time, you're going to try and hold the piano room? Yes, you won the last round, but it was tight because that piano was lost. No, everyone going downstairs, bar Necrox, and he's not looking for any outside peeks yet. So, actually running around the top floor trying to keep himself safe for a good long while. Checking the cameras a little bit, making sure he gets any information on anyone that might have been inside already. Potentially flank and kill them. But there isn't any. There's just kicks on the floor behind him. Opening up windows, scaring him a little bit. Ultimately, Snake comes in underneath him, taking out a couple of cameras. As Canadian takes down Young. Canadian with this C4 again, underneath the lobby entrance this time. Different spot, but playing the heartbeat sensor pulse. Gives him a quick early kill, taking down the shield once again. Necroxen holding the room above them. Still a little bit unsure about where they're coming from, but he's heading towards the spiral staircase and changes his mind. Making a lot of noise up there as they do start to push in on the floor above Gingy. Miles away, buddy.
Yeah. Working that little hearing tactic.
Yeah. Well, that hole blown right above his head, and he's trying to reposition away, but can't go too far. He's still cautious that they might try and open that garage door. Let's just stay a little bit close to it. Now he's decided to sacrifice it completely. Crocs is still safely running around upstairs. He's not done anything to this Orbit attack, so they may not even know he's there. They're just running around below him, not really having a care in the world. It's not the worst thing in the world though, as we've seen before. He doesn't have to push straight away, he doesn't have to attack them early on if he can just time it right when they finally make their execute into the bomb sites. He can be devastating. But as we saw from the Orbit defenders, a good robot that just stays alive and gives them the runaround can also be incredibly powerful.
Right.
Despite them ultimately losing that round.
Stay clear of the blast.
K9 holding Mystical in this corner, whether he knows it or not. Mystical's just waiting on that angle. But he's being flanked as we speak, because Canadian goes down, and that means Mystical's backside is now open, and he has to rethink his location. Snake sprays across the corridor. Kush is now behind him, and Mystical peeks around the corner to take Snake down. Orbit will immediately answer onto Mystical though, but Damie will push Kush back as he tries to flank on him. And Kix has taken down Gingy at the same point, so it is still a 3v2. But Crocs is still upstairs until now. He comes down the spiral, shoots K9 in the back, and suddenly gives the even man advantage to Mythic. But Kix says, nope, we want that lead. Takes down one, and then takes down the final kill onto Necrox. And gives Orbit themselves another round. 3 rounds to 2 then. As a slow, methodical attack comes in from Orbit. But this time it does work out for them. Too many angles for Mythic to hold.
Right, they're
losing a couple of key five.
Spread. They're clearly not picking up on the very odd attacking squad that that they're running, because they're playing very wide. They're playing a lot of open angles when they couldn't, and they're peeking a lot. You know, they're doing exactly what Velocity was screwing up with doing, which is peeking way too much on defense, not playing for time, and instead doing exactly what Orbit would want them to do, which is say, look, we have the assault rifles and we have the good assault rifles, and we have no abilities to run with those assault rifles. But if you're going to peek us, we're probably going to win. And that's exactly what they're doing. They weren't at first, though.
No. But here comes the Orbit defense top floor again. Location which has still been a bit hit and miss for both squads, but having done the basement, got to give it a shot up here now, and there they are recovering. Now back into 3 rounds to 2 after going down 2-0. This game is still far from over for either squad.
Recovered the diffuser. Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
Where do they go? K9 this time not looking for that early peek outside, playing very cautiously within the B bomb site. Comes back to his interesting spot and moves into the stairwell for a bit. Lots of kill holes still being made and lots of windows being opened up by either squad. Snake firing down through the floor here, giving himself a nice angle here into the very basement level, right down through Visa.
Bomb located by
Whether
attacker.
that'll actually result in a kill is debatable. Canadian pushing forward there with the Thermite. Mystical also being a little late to the building, having been the initial droners. The Croc's right up on a window, and Damie, of course, pushing in through this front doorway right off the bat. Trapdoor above his head is open. He's not really paying too much attention to it.
Yeah, if they'd actually been playing any of those.
Yeah, like they have a perfect kill hold down to shoot on top of that, and well, we're playing it.
They can hear the clunking around of the shield coming in too.
He immediately goes to where Canadian is and watches the stairwell for him. Canadian will go on his drone. To be fair, if someone comes down the stairway, now Damie cannot give Canadian enough timing to get him off of that in time to survive.
Right.
Unless he gets a very lucky quick headshot, he still ultimately could die. But going with the play, that Orbit will be patient, and he wasn't going to be on the drone for very long anyway. Throws the grenade straight up. It blows up right underneath the floor to the toilet and does force a reposition from Gingy. Sprays the last corner where he may be. And there is no one now there anymore. Damie up the staircase. Here's a footstep right at the top. And it is one play. Comes around for the... Oh! Knife into stumble and shoot. Kicks grabs one, K9 grabs the other. Beautiful play by K9. Using the barbed wire to his advantage. Baiting the shield up the stairs, knowing he doesn't have the speed decrease when he runs through it. Grabbing himself a quick kill, taking that shield out of the equation without C4 to deal with. Young, very, very low. Young, very, very low, but now Canadian firing at range to take down Kicks. Really nice shot by him, but Young still not got much health to deal with himself. Mystical holding out his rotate, but again, he's defense. He just has to hold tight. Gingy at the bottom of this stairwell, again trying to make something happen, but no one's going to have to peek down there. And 45 seconds on the clock means Mythic now have to make their move inside, which will work in the favor of Orbit. And suddenly Orbit decide actually they will peek a little bit. Snake grabs 2 quick kills while peeking outside before Gingy can deal with them.
Right. If they're not going to make the move inside, then he'll just come out. Take care of him.
And they know that the 2 are on that window. The shout came out that there was one on either side. He went, well, you know what? 2 for 1, I'll take that trade.
Yeah.
And successfully does it, giving his team a 3 versus 1 advantage with 15 seconds on the clock, while Gingy does take down Young.
Great shot.
He was already very, very low. Can he get inside? K9's in the stairwell. Kush is underneath him. As soon as he comes through that window, the C4 is going to go up.
Oh, look.
And boom.
Yes. I wanted that one.
Yeah, I wanted that. That felt good.
Say perfect.
Kush went, you know what? I don't know exactly what the timing is going to be, but with this amount of time on the clock, he's got to come in. I'll make my gamble. Job done.
I thought he was going to wait just a little too long there.
Yeah, me too. But 3 rounds to 3 now. Orbit have pulled it straight back. And are now onto their attack once more. Last 2 operators, IQ and the Recruit Shield, most likely. But Twitch is in here to suggest maybe not.
Oh, Orbit busting out the Thermite again now.
They are bringing him in too. There is the IQ, but not bringing the shield. They are going for the Thermite. Realizing their garage attacks have been a little bit lackluster without opening that door. And as you say, even if they don't push through it.
Right, just open it.
Just
walk
open
away.
it.
Or open it and stay really recessed back in one spot that they might cross across and wait. You don't have to go for picks there. It's not necessarily worth that. Just not
Mythic
letting...
have been giving up the piano room pretty easily.
Yeah.
Open the door, have control of the piano room, use the floor above, which you have been already.
Right.
Force them to move within that garage and then use the hole from outside to shoot people moving. It is not a hard strategy. It is
because
a pretty
otherwise
standard
the
play.
trade-off is you have a car that can, you have that van that can see perfectly to the stairs, and you're invincible by seeing it.
Yep.
And you're also very well protected from the kitchen area. You just have a lot of room to play if they don't open the garage. Whereas if they do, now it's crap. If I step here, put my back, are they going to still be there? Is he just hanging out, or did they leave? Or
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
Yeah.
there's a lot of cover in that little pocket.
Shots onto the piano room window as Mystical is forced to turn tail and run from there. Canadian is looking through the main front lobby window. They've sent a shield in here a couple of times, but this time around, not going for that play so quickly. Canadian checking the rappels right above these windows.
And sure
then
enough,
we'll take out a drone.
did work for Thermite. Mythic finally said, you know what, they're probably not going to Thermite. Walked away.
Yep,
They did.
he gives it straight up. 2 doors are opened. So Mythic finally start to learn, and Orbit like, you know what, let's just turn it on their head. Couple of tags onto Damie there behind the white van from playing at such a long distance, as you mentioned, but now forces a lot of movement to be locked down from inside. Young has the diffuser. Safe plant point inside that white van if they can get him in there. And to be fair, with locking everyone's position down like this, it is not too tough to get him in front of that white van and get the plant down.
Of course, instead they're playing all 5 on that side now, where they should be starting to get in and pinch him now that they've put the whole garage to their back wide open.
Opening every possible window around it, making sure no one can peek out or jump out or shoot out at them. Young has the diffuser. Could head forward to plant in front of that white van if he wishes to give it a shot. Go for a couple of random sprays towards Gingy at that yellow tower, yellow pillar if he wants to.
I wanted him to get that shot just so I could highlight it. Cry on Reddit about shields.
But ultimately, Mythic are doing a good job here playing against an open garage door by not moving.
Yep.
Orbit are not playing well with the garage open by forcing them to move. They should be doing something here and making them stick their heads out. Finding the Crocs is running around and finding Orbit are realizing they need to push from a different direction as well and sending Young, Kush and Snake in through the main entrance and the piano room itself. So will this be what it takes? The diffuser has stayed down outside with kicks. This is good. And he's now droning inside for a little bit more information. Here comes the push forward. Young down one staircase, Kush there with him. Will blow out the barbed wire. And the plant is going down. Kicks here right by the white van. Barbed wire killed off on the stairs. Gingy taken down by K9. Canadian will take down Young with the C4 and then go for the shot, but Kush will answer on him before being taken out himself by K9 from behind. So Necrox and Mystical, the 2 defenders left up, have to kill 3 attacking Orbit players. They can smoke outside the doors, and they do so. Now, do a whole lot of nothing. You know there's going to be one behind this van, and Necrox will be shut down by K9 from there. Now you've only got 1 smoke left. And even using your daylight advantage is not going to be enough. K9 says, yep, thank you for the kill. And Orbit, magic of Thermite.
Yep.
And finally pushing from a different
And
angle.
it wasn't even a good push. They waited on the garage. They did get inside and they started making the plays that mattered really late. And I just think Mythic was totally thrown off by holy crap, they took Thermite back out.
Young,
Young is
drawing attention to his own donut.
0-7 with a big old smile.
Yeah.
And apparently he's been C4'd every round. I wasn't quite keeping track of who was dying to the C4 every round, but apparently Young is feeling it.
Not having the best of time with his shields. Neither is Damie, though, to be fair. Kush has been a good job of C4ing him from the levels below.
Yep.
But ultimately, the rounds are still in Orbit favor, heading to match point. Could secure all 3 points here and put themselves comfortably up and above BWS regardless of the result against Velocity. That's what they want, that's what they're playing for. Do not want to face Penta in round number 1.
Right.
Here they go with their defense of the garage for their final stop. All trapdoors reinforced. Same as always. Kush doing the last one before heading downstairs. Kicks doing the same. K9. Are you going to do a crazy window peek this time? Do it.
5 seconds remaining.
Sitting on the stairs, waiting for his team to come down.
Attackers have recovered
Deciding about whether or not to place his last barbed wire exactly where he had.
The attacker's bomb diffuser
Got to get it
has
pixel
been
perfect.
dropped.
And then puts it down again. So, everyone from Orbit, bar Kush, were downstairs. He is now going down the spiral staircase and is joining them all. And they've just got to play a patient game. Mythic definitely going to be a little bit confused as to what Orbit are doing now after having them switch up their attack so drastically and bringing that Thermite this time. They think they'll bring it to their defense. Mystical is very quickly in upstairs. Damie is up there with him to clear out that floor. Crocs also here very quickly cleaning the admin office with Canadian on drones to check it's open for him. Comfortable that that is exactly the case. So Mystical at the top of the staircase will wait for Damie to leapfrog in and then lead the way down. Once again, everyone from Orbit is in the basement for now, but they have been known to flank up and get behind the attacking team here.
Attackers recover.
Will they do the same thing again? Watch and play. Everyone being quite patient downstairs. K9 at the bottom of the stairs. Kush with that C4 in the visa office, waiting for someone to walk underneath it. This time it's not going to happen. Young using this impenetrable van window for, again, more information on the stairs, but both Kix and Young are watching it. Yes, Mystical is there. Is he going to peek down in time to kill the bandit? Charge goes off. He ultimately doesn't peek at all until now, and the charge is already blown. So the garage is open. Canadian, are you going to get any kills from out there? You're not even going to try. No one is. But as we said, it's not an impossible way to do. Kush goes for the knife, does get the stumble, but has already flashed, so cannot make the capitalize on it. And the Crocs with the flank will shut him down. So Orbit losing their first player means this is, as we stand, looking for an overtime push. But 4 players left up is still plenty to make this defense, especially if Snake is about to find 2 players come around this corner with that Super 90. Cross trap killed off then by Damie's Blitz. Now Kush will peek around the corner, but Gingy takes down K9, and suddenly they are down another man. Snake lets the shield push past a little way first before thinking about C4ing, but here's it get pulled. Now Snake will fire straight onto the C4. The flashbang goes off, but doesn't damage her at all. Second one goes down, he goes for the flash, gets the randoms knives out, will not land. Snake goes down, the Crocs and Damie pick up the extra couple of kills, and we head to overtime. As Orbit are massacred.
There's the TM that we saw at the beginning of this match.
Yep.
They went away for a minute, right about when we said they were doing good.
And what did they do to get it? Slowly, methodically cleared the top floor, cleared the bottom floor,
Exactly.
went down into the visa office area, the archives area of the basement, and moved their way in towards the objective with both the garage open and the shield behind them.
Yeah.
Sandwiched Orbit in. Easy, easy play for them. And overtime we go. Back upstairs then goes the Orbit defense. Confident that the console office and the meeting room will be their successful location. Are they right? Taking their standard defenders. Same attack as the last round.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being
He is brought out by Mythic. But it's a little bit harder to do that same breach and clear strategy when attacking the top. They do it.
Maybe.
Maybe. So, same holes being made by Kush here as they did before, but they didn't really use it to fire down through this trapdoor last time. They could have killed Damien nice and early
10
on.
seconds to insertion.
Will they use it better this time around? We'll wait and see. Have a couple of kill holes between each bomb site, which actually was used to kill off a couple of Orbit defenders last attack, but not enough of them to win the round. K9 this time is close to more windows, but not looking out of them. Still making a few holes for him. Kush making a lot of holes in the admin office for eyes on many different angles, and well, Young is the slightly awkward position here behind these desks in the main reception top floor. How well can they hold it? Shots coming up from underneath from Mystical, making those windows open from range, not worrying about climbing up and sledging them. As the last time they tried to do that, they got stabbed right in the back by Snake. It was a little bit later in the round, but damage was still done. Damien also still outside, despite being the shield player. Very dangerous to be on a window with a shield. You cannot hold your shield up, and all you've got is pistol. He down, gets inside, and this time he doesn't have to worry about anyone being underneath him with C4. Just to worry about them being on top of him with C4, and Kix is right at the top of this staircase. Could any second peek out and see the side of his head if he turns away one more time, and Kix was just moving around that way. Doesn't quite catch him though. Hears him, no doubt about that. Now up the stairs comes Damie. Sees Snake run away. Maybe he's going to suspect they're going to be clear now. Starts to work away at the barbed wire. Kix picks around the corner. Oh, he turns his back on him. Tries to run. Perfect time from Orbit there. That was through the C4, so he turns around and try and shoot him when he does so. Neither of which can land the shots or the C4 damage, but the damage was nearly done.
Ready to knock up.
He's still very cautious about coming up these stairs. Kix spraying shots past his head.
Bomb located by
As blitzed a big head thanks to those earmuffs. Does put a flash off. Can he make his way in? Kix now being shot from the player pushing behind the shield. Snake though shooting the shield in the back as Necrox starts to push in, take down Young. Kush also very low. Necrox takes down 2 of them in the main hall before he gets a third onto Snake as well.
Pistol.
I was like sure it was going to stop in a minute. It had to stop, so it did want to jump to him, but grabs a 3rd kill. Now Damien will push here into Orbit's Kix and shut him down with ease. He did not have a lot of health to play with, but now neither does Damie. K9 has to find 4 people though. One coming up behind him. He's heard Canadian. Pushes down to try and get the aggressive play onto him, but gives his position away in doing so. Canadian just turns and runs away, pre-fires the corner, and gets the kill. Giving the first first attacking round to Mythic on overtime. But ultimately, it's all got to go over to Necrox with that 3-man pistol play.
Right. Jesus.
Big play by him. And all of it was with 1 magazine, too.
Yeah.
Admittedly, the first kill was just a single bullet on a down player that he killed with his assault rifle. But
Right,
still, the 2 afterwards, to flick up from that down player and grab 2 pistol shots in 1 magazine. Big play pushing through that way. Securing round number 1 then.
Way to miss it.
Mythic. You haven't done the camera once all season.
Yeah,
and
so
at
you
6:30 in the morning.
So you should be really good at it.
At 6:30 in the morning, you're calling me out for it. Unbelievable. More importantly, Young is still a donut. 0 and 9, dying every single round so far.
When you're a donut, do your deaths count as how many donuts you have? So if he's goose egg with 9 deaths, I believe he's at right now, right?
Yep, 0 and 9.
So does he have 9 donuts
9
to offer up?
Discovered the location of a
Maybe,
bomb.
maybe.
So
Make it
if
a nice
he dies
round
this
10,
round,
give it to everyone.
Yeah, exactly. If he dies this round, every single person gets one.
Dibs on the 11th.
That's if TM doesn't take it home right now.
That is very possible indeed. So, the defense set up then in the basement here for Mythic was finally cracked open by Orbit last time, and they are doing the same thing again to make sure they can get it. Running themselves a thermite again. Trapdoors are all reinforced inside, same as ever by the defending squad. And then they're making their way back down towards the basement. Rather, most of them are. Canadians actually been barricaded out by the squad and left on the floor above. And Necrox is right up top in the admin office, so they are going for a slightly more mobile defense. Kick some friends out and around the garage. Haven't got it open yet. Young, let's watch you, see if you can get inside for information. You are looking to try and lock Gingy's position out. Can you do it? We'll grenade on in to destroy the barbed wire first. Does it do the job? Yes, it does. Sure did. Still not sure whether he can get inside for this. So. Let's see how they unfold. As Young rethinks his position outside that door. Gingy still holding it tight at an angle, waiting for the sounds of Kicks outside with that thermite charge. Kicks will drone in and he sees it. He's ready to get stuck in the barbed wire. Looks for another angle to shoot on the stairwell.
I found one.
It's not there. There we go. The spot comes out and now he spins and sees the drone, kills it.
Deploying
He's
drone.
forced to reposition a little bit, but is still holding that stairs angle, and Kicks just throws out his second drone once again for contemplating the peak. Upstairs, Orbit have taken control of the piano room, and that immediately means Gingy cannot sit behind that stairwell now. Made some holes in the floor and is using it for sound. He can hear Snake running around on top of him. Snake runs onto it this time. Gingy grabbing the kill and makes him feel a little bit safer about going back up against this wall. But is it going to be enough? Takes out a couple more drones first. Kicks now, still thinking about peeking into the stairwell. Does so, but survives. Now peeks on in just as Gingy looks away. Mystical has been downed in the background by Young. He's no longer a donut. Picking up his first kill.
What could be
still
his last
pushing
chance
Gingy back.
to do it.
Yep. And they are a 1-man up now.
Gingy is
Maybe it's a
suffering
bit better.
from just
Oh, Young
unlucky
just about
timing right
skirts past the sight lines of Canadian, and that gives him a second kill before Damie takes down K9, and Gingy finally takes down Kicks. So we're back to a 2v2, and both Kush and Young are up the other end in the archives room. Damie tries to sprint away, gets shot in the back, but it won't be enough to down him. The pistol, not enough to get through the 3 armor of Damie, and Kush isn't there to help him. Gingy now inside A, starts to lock recruit in the corridor. Kush has gone for a little bit of a hunt, and oh, this is bad. Gets stuck in the doorway. Young now around the corner, gets pinned out by Gingy. Gingy will get hunted down here by Ash. He has the diffuser, has to hold it down with 2 seconds on the clock, will be spotted and finished off by Mythic. That is round, that is map, that is GG. And Mythic secure a singular point.